We're exploring when. We explored a little bit around why and what it looks like to win in one's life.
Moving forward with the DekkerTeam. Moving forward together with the DekkerTeam.
And now we want to look at win what's important now.
Yeah, and that's just a really simple acronym, simple to think about, because what we tend to do is we do a task and then we might get bogged down. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I've been overwhelmed because my to-do list is huge.
Huge.
Right?
We go to sleep with a to-do list sometimes bigger than the one that started in the morning.
Yes. And well, we wake up, and we wake up with more because things come to your mind while you're sleeping. You wake up and you start writing down. And sometimes you don't know what to do. You're a little bit overwhelmed. You have too many things to accomplish.
Right. Like I certainly find that.
Yeah.
And maybe you have as well, that you, and I don't mean you as in Ken, I mean you as our friend that we're moving forward together with, that you have more to do than you can kind of prioritize. Mm-hmm. It's hard to put a 1 to 50 or 1 to 100 on all the tasks.
And we have a whole nother system for that we can talk about on another show.
We do.
But this one's about the WIN and the WIN acronym. And so what's important now is really who's in front of me. It's really about being present in the moment.
Right.
What's important now? So if my child is there and they're going, daddy, let me show you what I did at school, or let me show you I can ride my bike, or come throw the ball with me, then the whole bunch of things that I'm rolling around in my head, if I'm not present, what's important now is spending time with that child and giving them my full attention. Same thing when you have an emotional thing that you want me to be part of, or you want to share a win at work, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. What's important now is being present now with what I'm doing.
Right, which is absolutely true and brilliant. And the other aspect of that is if you can identify what's important now, like in this moment now, then all the overwhelm that you talked about it a minute ago, Ken, falls away.
It is. It's
right? Because there's not 99 tasks all prioritized. There's one task. Mm-hmm. So even right now, as we're connecting with you on the Inside Track, the only thing that's important is making a difference in your life right now, is adding value and helping you get clarity about how you get to win in your life. Like, why is it important? What's important? And then how do you figure out what do you need to do right now?
Like Gary Keller wrote a book called The One Thing.
Yeah.
And so he said you can't have multiple focuses. You can only have one focus.
Right now.
And multitasking is a
fallacy.
It doesn't exist. You can task switch. And the more you task switch, the slower your brain gets. You get more bogged down. It's kind of like a computer. If you have too many windows open, suddenly it will crash. Or it really slows down on the process because you have too many windows.
And then I have to close
Even your
them
phone,
all.
You got to close all your applications,
right?
Yeah,
you have to do that a lot.
Exactly. So if you want to read The One Thing, it's a good book. But it's about the one thing right now. And so what's important now?
Right. So how do you identify, Ken? So you have 99, and I'm using 99, but sometimes there's 500 items on your next list. Mm-hmm. I know one of the ways that I do it that I find is brilliant is I actually have 3 lists. Mm-hmm. And one list is those things that I'm actually going to focus on in the now. Like this month, they have a start date and they have an end date. Mm-hmm. And then I have a list that's the not doing now, that I still know when I'm going to start. I don't necessarily know when I'm going to finish them. And I'm probably not going to look at them for about 30 days, maybe 14 days, 13 days. There's a out there.
And because you wrote them down and you know you're going to come back to them, they no longer take bandwidth in the now.
Right. They're not an open window.
Yeah, because it's not doing now.
Correct. With a start date. Mm-hmm. And then I have a third list that is never am I going to do it now? So it doesn't mean never am I going to do it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, because you got that list. Like, why even put it on the list if you're never going to do it?
Well, I'm never going to do it now. And so that doesn't have a start date. And I'm only going to look at that list, or I only look at that list about every 30 days
So
to see if something should be moved.
Yeah, and so sometimes for me, that's my idea list.
Yeah.
Because I used to overwhelm you with my ideas, because I would come up with ideas. I'm an idea guy, I'm a solution guy, I'm a problem solver, and I come up with ideas, and then you would get on overwhelmed because you thought I was going to do them all now. And some of them I may never do, ever.
Right.
They're just an idea. Some of the great inventors had thousands of ideas. Doesn't mean they acted on them all.
Right. So having those 3 lists. So the 3 lists are doing now, start and end date on when you're going to do that, and then not doing now, and then never doing now.
Right. And we sometimes do file folders and drop the projects into those file folders.
Absolutely. So how do we identify what we're going to do now beyond that list? So how do you identify beyond the present? What's important in the moment is the person in front of you.
Right.
Is the person I have an appointment with, is the person I'm talking with. That's one criteria.
And it's kind of like having boundaries too, because if you know that what's important now is writing the essay, then everything else should fade away. And I'm writing the essay because I time blocked that essay for now. Now, that doesn't mean that, an emergency comes up, a child skins their knee, they get sick at school. Well, now what's important is I go pick up my child.
Right.
And then I just take that time block that I had for writing the essay or whatever it may be.
Writing the talk, writing the inside track.
Writing an inside track, making dinner, whatever it is, I'm going to move that to a new block.
Right.
A new time block.
And an amazing time block is, I've heard 90 minutes is optimal, and yet 90 minutes is a really long time to stay focused on one task.
Too long.
Once you get in for you, it's way too long.
Way too long.
Once you get in the flow, I think sometimes you can do 90 minutes well, and yet you're better to start with something that's manageable. So maybe it's a 30-minute block, and it's 30 minutes times 3, which still equals 90. Yep. And you give yourself a little treat in between. Just starting somewhere. And time blocking really is part of how to stay present to what's important now.
Exactly. And you said the treat word, and you took my mind off of the inside track and put it onto food. But I'm back, folks. I'm back on the inside track.
So celebrating is an amazing thing to do with what's important now. If I've laid out what's important now and I want a little celebration at the end of that to feel good about having accomplished my time block, and it can be small. It does not have to be ice cream. It could be just a nice call with somebody that's going to encourage you or support you. So winning is really just about focusing on what's important now.
Moving forward with the DekkerTeam. Moving forward together with the DekkerTeam.